The story starts with our protagonist narrating about how his family once lived peacefully in this world, but he has no memory of it. Earth itself and everything got destroyed as a huge meteor or alien object fell from the sky, and in an instant, everything was destroyed, and there were a few traces of human civilization remained. The oldest memory he can recall is of ash-covered streets, the stench of smoke, and blank faces of people that have lost hope. Amidst all this, it was bearable because there were smiles and shoulders to lean on. Basically, he means that he had a family. This was until something filthy emerged because of humanity's despair. They were gods which descended onto Earth, not one but multiple of them, persuading people to worship them as they claimed to be everyone's masters and would act as guides to a new world. Civilization will be rebuilt in the name of gods, and for those who long for salvation, they must bring the souls of their neighbors and come to the sanctuary. 15 years later, we now move on to the present, where our protagonist is checking his family photo. He is called Dale as an old buffed man tells him to get off and follows him. According to Dale, the gods rebuilt humanity that took humanity over a millennia to create in just a few days. They reach the sanctuary of the Golden God Barrack, and the head priest welcomes them to the sanctuary. Dale thinks that everyone dreams about entering the sanctuary as the old man asks the buffed man if he is qualified, which he answers with an of course. To enter the sanctuary, there are two ways. One is to offer a sacrifice. In this case, the buffed man handed over Dale to him as an offering. The other way to enter the sanctuary is by becoming a sacrifice. As the others lead our Chad towards their god, he is the latter, so to enter the sanctuary, he is being sacrificed, but it doesn't matter to him as his goal is not the sanctuary but to meet the gods as he clenches his hand. In a flashback, we see that Dale was the lone survivor of his family, and he clearly remembers standing over the bodies of his mother, father, and brother. They spoke about mercy, love, salvation, and blessing, so his goal is to meet every single one of the gods, and one by one, he will throw them into hell. Moving on to the buffed man, he goes to a bar and gets himself something cold. The bartender tells him that he hasn't seen him here before. The buffed man tells him that he is new and tells him that the sanctuary of the Golden God lives up to its name since everything here is gold. The bartender serves him a welcome drink in a cup made of gold. He asks the bartender if Barrack's power probably creates gold, but the bartender tells him that it's a misunderstanding newcomers have. His power is to transform, so he can basically turn things that are not gold into gold, whether it's water, stone, or anything else, he can turn it into gold. The buffed man will also receive gold soon if the sacrifice is satisfactory, he will give him a lot. Even if it is unsatisfactory, he will get some. The buffed man asks him why he gives more or less. The bartender smiles and tells him that he has a peculiar hobby and collects artwork. We move on to his artworks. One of them is artwork number 216, which is of an old man dancing in anger. The next artwork is number 1087, which is a child singing in sorrow. As the crazy god shows his collection, asking Dale if he likes it, while he is sitting on his throne with the room filled with artworks and our Chad tied to a chair. The useless fake god tells him that why is he so silent and if he doesn't like his collection. Dale remains silent, and Barrack can tell from his expression that he doesn't like it, so he drops the statues and tells him that he feels the same. He is tired of old men and children, which his believers bring because they are easy catches. This trash gets close to Dale, licking his lips, telling him that it's been a really long time since he got a strong man like him. He points towards the shelf, showing Dale his place, which is where he gathers adult males, and our Chad has gotten the privilege to get the spot in the center. This pervert is so thrilled that finally, he will complete his men's display case. While staring at the shelf, he notices something, telling Dale that he should have left 2 spots open, and asks Dale if the shelf looks weird because every one of them is injured. It's natural for humans to get hurt while being hunted by others since no human will ever quietly become a sacrifice. What's weird is that he has never seen such a clean sacrifice because there is not even a single scratch on him. He gets close to our boy and asks him if he was with the one who offered him as a sacrifice. The buffed man informs Dale that Barrack's power is material transformation, so they have to change plans. Unfortunately, Barrack hears it as he is close to his ear. He pulls out the bead and tells Dale that he heard unbelievers causing trouble outside the sanctuary lately, but they are daring enough to appear directly in front of a god. He then breaks the bead and tells them that they have gotten confident after taking out a few minions, as the buffed old man got caught. The golden trash puts his finger on Dale's chest, telling him what a mere human can do in front of a god as he starts turning him into gold. He tells our Chad to better hurry, or in 5 minutes, he will turn into a lump of gold. In a calm voice, Dale tells him that he absorbs souls and slowly absorbs them. The Golden Barbie is shocked that he got it right. But it's sad as Dale laughs, telling him that he has no soul and can check it if he wants. The Golden Barbie makes a face and points his finger at his head, digging his hand to find black blood coming out and his soul missing as Dale starts laughing, asking him if he is flustered. Amidst all this, he says that he sold his soul. We move on to another scenario where a demon from the depths of hell approached him and gave him the power to kill gods. It was a being that embraces all demons. In such a state, Dale goes crazy, telling him that he sold it to the Void. The Golden Barbie is confused because he has never heard of something like the Void and doesn't know what to do since Dale doesn't have a soul. And so he clenches his fist and buries Dale into the ground. As our Chad's head splits open, he tells him that a being that can kill gods is blasphemy. There is nothing that can kill gods, and seeing his absurdity, Dale is probably a servant of another god. The Barbie calls the high priest and asks him to find out which god Dale serves. There must be a god backing unbelievers and orders him to bring the one who disguised himself as a believer. From behind, Dale starts standing up and tells the Golden Barbie that why there wouldn't be something that can kill a god. Since he doesn't believe it, Dale tells him if they should test it out. He calls out Pavaka, and a huge demon of fire emerges, and one side of the Golden Barbie starts blazing. The Barbie is screaming in pain as his guards try to kill Dale. He calls for Braz, and another demon gets behind Dale. With his powers, our Chad rips the minions like slicing through butter. He spits blood as the pain of Pavaka and the agony from Braz take a toll on his body since using the power of demons has a price, but he can endure it all. The Golden Barbie calls in his golden statues, telling Dale that how can a mere human defy a god, so he will take him seriously and hunt him down. Dale expected that killing the Golden Barbie with mid-level demons was not possible, so he will have to borrow the powers of the Lord of Hell and show them what real hell feels like while making a smile. This story gets even better by the end of the video. As for the buffed man, he is sitting on top of minions after taking care of them. In a flashback, we see the voices of Dale's dad, mother, and his brother as he wakes up from his sleep, and his bed was made of the clothes of his family covered in blood. After getting up, he grabs onto their clothes and starts crying in pain. That's when he first met Buffed Man, and he tells him that he is someone that lost someone precious, which is not very rare in today's world. Humans hunt other humans to enter the sanctuary, so humanity is falling prey to the gods, making Earth a living hell. He asks Dale what he thinks and can a world like this change. Covered in desperation, he asks Buffed Man what he means by changing the world. As tears fall from his eyes, he tells him that he would rather just collapse it again. Hearing his answer, Buffed Man laughs and starts laughing at his answer, and it cannot be changed. As Dale stares at him, he tells him that the world has to be completely torn down and rebuilt from scratch. He tells him that he was late at introducing himself and he is called Walter. He is the one who leads the group of unbelievers from the east. They recently discovered an artifact that is known as the only weapon capable of killing the gods, and it led him here and he found Dale. Since he is chosen by the Void, he tells Dale to become the weapon that can kill the gods, using the power of the demons. Hearing this, without any hesitation, Dale accepts it. Moving on to Golden Barbie, he thinks Dale used the power of the devils, but that doesn't matter to him. Whether he is a demon or a human or whatever, to the gods he is immortal. Dude is transforming into a second-rate Optimus Prime. He gets into a TikToker dancing position and brags about how in the Golden Sanctuary he is omnipotent and absolute. Instead of getting worried, Dale laughs and tells him that finally, he is up to something. Optimus Barbie will enlighten our Chad and land a very strong attack on Dale, but he summons Braz and rips him in half. Because of overusing his powers, he is reaching his limit. As Dale is catching his breath, Golden Barbie tells him that he is stubborn, but his petty tricks won't work on him, as he starts healing himself. He wants to see how long our Chad can survive as he uses all his strength and starts landing a barrage of attacks. These attacks are so strong that the priest tells him to stop overacting or the palace might collapse, but he doesn't want to stop, so they run for their lives. In the city, everyone thinks something is wrong and predicts it might be an earthquake. Moving on to Buffed Man, he is done handling all the minions, and the shocked bartender tells him why he is doing this, realizing that he is not a believer and blames him that it's because of him that Barrack is angered. Buffed Man with a straight face tells him that before he was here, he was treated like prey, bringing the dude back to reality. Even he entered this place by sacrificing his fellow beings who are in the same predicament as him and roasts him by telling how it feels to come under the feet of the gods and if he thinks he is living like humans now. He denies his claims when he notices himself turning into gold. Buff Dude tells him that he is nothing but livestock to them as the bartender screams in pain. Walter expected this, but Golden Barbie is coming out stronger than he expected, burning the soul of at least 50,000 souls. That's when Walter notices a vehicle approaching him, a girl on a motorcycle calling him captain and how she is here to rescue him. She is called Katie, and Walter calls her crazy for coming here, but she calls him crazy as well. For 5 years of no contact and all of a sudden he says he is going on a full-scale war against the gods in the sanctuary. Walter tells her that now that they have the power to face against them, does she think he came unprepared? She is confused at first, then asks him if he has completed the weapon that can kill gods. Walter answers her with a yes and tells her that 5 years ago when he met Dale, his eyes were filled with hopelessness and sorrow, which was everything that the artifact wanted, and the desire for revenge, but that alone was not enough. Those who want to use the artifact of Void must embed it into their heart. To Dale, there was not a moment of hesitation. He willingly walked to his death and his body did not decay for 5 years. Walter wouldn't even guess what was going through his mind. Just a few months ago, Dale who descended to hell returned from his death. Hearing all this, Katie cannot believe that someone dead came back to life. Our buff Chad tells her that him coming back to life means that the contract was successful. The deal of selling his soul to obtain the power of demons is not an ordinary deal. By hunting the power of gods, they obtained a very special power. All this time, Dale was waiting for Barrack to go all out. With the number of souls he has absorbed, this should be enough. Katie figures out that Dale has a special power and reveals his true ability. All of a sudden, a huge tower of fire emerges that is 10 times larger than that Golden Barbie. Dale starts behaving weirdly, telling about the promised power of gold, and now he is ready to hunt him. He asks the King of Flames that ruled Hell of Injustice, Agni, to lend his powers. Damn, the art is crazy enough to give me goosebumps. Dale's true ability is the power to possess the bodies of overlords of hell. As he starts transforming into a body of flame, it's crazy just to appreciate the art. The transformed Dale charges towards Barbie and jumps towards Barbie, ripping his fist and charging towards his head. Dale tells Agni to burn him to the bone, and the flames increase so much that Golden Barbie starts melting and starts begging for his life, telling Dale that he messed up. As Katie and Walter watch this sight, she cannot believe that our Chad defeated a god. Dale comes out of the smoke and hands them a wooden-shaped finger that came out of Barrack's body. Walter tells Katie that it's an artifact that is different from the artifact of the Void. He is not sure, but like Dale, he draws power from a different realm, so the gods might be borrowing power from another realm as well. As Dale was fainting, he feels the same and faints. Katie thinks he is dead, but Walter tells her that he will be asleep for a few days. In the central sanctuary of the gods, there lies the central grand shrine. Some beings wearing capes were headed to the shrine. The man's name is Lu, and he led his servants towards the central grand shrine. Upon reaching it, he informed the gods that he came as summoned. He pays respect to the revered 3 gods. The gods informed him that the Golden God is dead and their enemy has finally revealed itself. They thought it was just like the prophecy, but they said not to worry and to just follow the plan. Then the other god asked Lu to bring the last ingredient for the descent of the one true God. He mentioned that it was the relic of the Void. Shortly, Lu left the central grand shrine, flying with his technologies. Meanwhile, Walter and the unbelievers continued their journey. Dale slept a lot during their travel. Moreover, Katie held the artifact and was contemplating. She then opened the window and told Walter that she still didn't understand. She told him that the relic that came from Barrack is like a device that draws power from another realm, just like the Void. Walter said that the gods probably used it to harness powers like divine abilities. But Katie told him that she still didn't understand why Walter accepts something so absurd easily, like when he brought the Void 5 years ago. She told him that she knew Walter is not someone who believes in such things without evidence. However, Walter did not respond. Then Walter decided that he should tell Katie the reason why he has to believe the unbelievable. Walter started to tell Katie that before the last war, he was the chief researcher of a megacorporation called East. He mentioned there was a strange place in their lab that even he was restricted from accessing. One day, he found the door open, and driven by curiosity, he went in. Upon seeing the place, he wondered what it was. He noticed that the room was a strange place. He thought it was just a mysterious room with an unknown purpose. He saw some murals whose meanings were hard to understand. Then he saw a lone printer and shattered documents. He read the documents and thought it was a third-rate fantasy novel to which he couldn't identify its genre, as he couldn't understand the contents. He copied it on his phone. Suddenly, when he was about to leave, the printer produced another document. He saw it was some numbers of some sort. Moreover, he heard noises outside, so he hurriedly grabbed the paper with numbers and escaped. Walter gave his phone to Katie to show her the documents. Katie looked at it and asked what it was. Walter told her that those documents were not a novel but a prophecy. Walter said that all the things that happened to them are just like the contents of the documents, and it became true, just like the prophecy. Then Katie asked the meaning of the numbers. Walter explained that it was the latitude, longitude, and time that indicated the location of the relic of the void in Dale. He believed the gods, the laboratory, and the prophecy are connected, and the gods always followed the prophecy. Moreover, he explained that when he followed the paper with numbers, he then knew where and when the relic of the void in Dale would appear. However, Katie noticed that the prophecy ends with Barrack's death. So Walter said it's the problem because he doesn't know what will happen at the moment. Suddenly, the car crashed. Some being stopped them with its bare hands. The being that stopped them was a servant of the revered gods. Lou, Walter, and Katie got hurt and still tried to open their eyes. Lou, along with his army, came to find the relic of the void. They searched the vehicle and found Dale. The man brought Dale and showed him to Lou, then asked what they should do. In response, Lou instructed him to extract the relic of the void. Suddenly, Walter punched him. Walter quickly instructed Katie to protect Dale. The man was taken aback when his body got destroyed. Katie then asked Walter who he was telling her to protect them and said Dale's not going to die anyway. So Walter told her that Dale can't recover when he's unconscious. Suddenly, a chain was placed on his neck. Lou summoned them and quickly tried to hold Walter. He struck Walter to the ground and instructed his servants to dispose of them. However, a part of his body suddenly burst into flames. Katie quickly checked on Walter and asked if he was okay. Suddenly, a strange hand grabbed their bodies as the servant utilized his skill. He told them that what they did to Lou was a disrespect. Walter informed Katie that the group are followers of the central shrine. He said they are not opponents they can handle as they have powers equivalent to low-tier gods. Meanwhile, Lou was surprised that someone knew about them. Then he instructed his people to take care of them. Suddenly, he pierced Dale's body and extracted his heart. Katie and Walter were surprised, but they couldn't do anything. Shortly, Dale's body slowly started turning into ash. Lou informed the revered gods that the relic has been secured, but the gods still felt unsettled. On the other hand, the other god said that he was always worried. Then another god said that he also felt uneasy. Moreover, they declared that at that moment, there is no prophecy. Suddenly, Lou was taken aback when the heart suddenly moved. They thought someone was interfering with everything. To their surprise, an eye appeared in the sky. A strange thing was suddenly emerging from the heart. To their surprise, Lou's body was being enveloped by the demons of the void. In an instant, he suddenly disappeared into nothing. Katie and Walter felt something dangerous occurring. Even Lou's servants felt frightened. There was a shadow walking towards them. A man that looked like a shadow appeared. He was known as God Eater. Voidman. This is it for today. Make sure to like and subscribe for part 2.